If you hood educated, I'm glad you made it. Allow me to unfold my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from a hood brother's point of view to all of you, here, there, and everywhere. Now check me out.
This is breaking news.
The evidence, the way it was presented, the things that they didn't do as far as going to getting the video surveillance cameras, doing the call detail records where the tower hits and all that could have been done, and we could have avoided this nightmare.
What was the one point of discrediting Cornelius Smith?
You can't just pick one. I mean, the whole thing was a joke. Even down to the neighbor that he supposedly gave $500 to, none of it was true. None of it happened. I don't even know if they have the right car because there wasn't a drop of blood in that thing. They didn't wipe it down because the expert said no, there was no evidence of bleach in that car. Nothing that man said was true.
Jesse Browning's testimony, you proved that to be.
Was there one moment in which you just knew that we have this? Or are you always sort of on edge until that verdict comes through?
I'm always on edge because there's cases I thought I would have won easily, and the jurors just get swayed by the publicity and the media. It's been so one-sided, calling him a mastermind. The press has been going crazy because only the DA talks. And that's the problem with our system, is because they make such a good first impression saying everybody's guilty that it's hard to get a fair trial. But thank God we got jurors. They took hundreds of pages of notes, and it didn't take them, 2 hours to figure out this was all garbage.
And they virtually echoed everything that he said in closing. And they were very critical that anyone could be locked up that long and didn't have the resources to defend themselves. The jurors said that. They echoed that. And the guy said, I am offended. I'm offended by this. He said, and he was disappointed in Mulroy. And that's your elected official. That's my elected official because I live here. And you just go and do something.
You called that testimony with Jesse Browning BS a joke. Why?
Because it was. Half the stuff was just made up within a couple of days of this stuff, and they give us this mystical receipt that's never been in any of the police reports. The jurors didn't buy it for a second. The lead investigator, Dabney, was incredibly honest when he said these are the mistakes that we made. And then you call up somebody that's willing to do or say anything to clean up the case to get a conviction. You saw how they shaded off the phone records. Where are the text messages? Where's any of that from Justin Johnson to our clients saying we're going to do something? I presented hundreds of text messages where he's threatening people, trying to go shoot people with others. Govan was never in on any of it. And the fact that you're still asking me these questions I find offensive because it didn't happen. You would never take anything you heard in that courtroom for any decision you would make in your life that has any significance. You would laugh at me if I said believe those guys. So let's just keep it real. This is all garbage, and I'm grateful that he's out, and I'm sorry in the world that he had to do 9 months in prison. And I'm just grateful his fiance called me, and we have the resources to help poor people.
You were very passionate in your closing arguments about, about Govan being just a man from Orange Mound up against the system. Kind of talk about where that passion came from.
When I go to 201 and look at the people that are in there, I know a lot of people do wrong, and I understand that, and I don't want violence in the streets because I live, in towns as well. But it's just so wrong. If I can see it, there's no way a jury couldn't see it, and that's why it took, 2 hours to figure that out. I mean, obviously it would have probably been quicker had they not had to go through the evidence and do their job, but the fact that anybody in the press would say, oh, it was this or it was that, it was clearly flagrant, and I wish we'd be reported as this is what your justice is in Memphis. So if you're black and poor, you got a problem.
So this was
Mr. Govan, how do you feel?
Mr. Rohr, this is pro bono. I was
Feel great.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
To finally have this stress taken off your shoulders.
Yeah, to have my life back.
What's the first thing you plan to do?
Go hug my son.
Mr. Govan, you haven't smiled all this week, but obviously you have a lot to smile about. Just tell me what you're feeling in right now.
Like I said, it's kind of hard to explain the feeling of getting your life back, just from 12 people, so I'm just blessed, and I'm just ready to go see my son.
What was going through your head when you were waiting for the verdict this morning?
Nervousness, of course, it's natural, but I got a team around me that was very confident and supportive, so without them, it wouldn't be no me. I just want to thank again Manny, Robert, Haley, Beth, Handel, Quantrell, Leanne, just everybody that played a part in proving my innocence.
You heard your attorney say if you're black and poor in Memphis, this is what happens. What would be your words of advice?
leave Memphis,
Do you plan on leaving Memphis, sir?
of course.
Was there any point throughout the week where you're like, you know what, I'm still nervous, prior to the verdict? Was there any point where it's like, I don't know which way it's gonna go?
I've been nervous for 4 years.
How does it feel to be at the end of this 4-year journey that you've been on?
Feels great. Just feel like I've been born again. I get a chance to restart my life and do some positive things.
Do you think that this verdict will change how the court system is working here in Memphis?
As corrupt this system is, I doubt it.
Mr. Aurora, do you think this verdict will change anything with the court system here in Memphis?
I'm not here from Memphis, but if this is a microcosm of what's going on, then you should all be worried. And maybe we should be digging into these things and figuring out why so many people are in jail, why we keep them without bond and force them into pleas and things of that nature, and why investigations aren't always there. Thankfully, my office has the resources to help these types of people and can spend the money to do it. I can only imagine how hard it is for the public defenders with their cases or other appointed lawyers that couldn't do this, and how many people shouldn't be in prison.
Oh, back in December, is that the reason? Obviously, you advised your client not to take that plea.
That's always his decision. I don't advise him to do anything. They always say, what would I do? And I'm like, I'm not serving the time, so I have no idea. I can't go through that stress. You can't duplicate that. I mean, I love the man. I believed in him. That's why I took the case, and we fought like hell for it. I'm grateful that the staff stayed with me. I yelled at them a lot this week and put a lot of pressure on them. We've worked long nights for the last few months. We filed, I don't know how many, 24 motions, most of which were granted, which never happens, but it was so obvious we were right, and yet still we have a case. The government just can't ever admit that maybe there isn't anything here. They'll just prosecute, and then blame the jury if it doesn't go your way.
Mr. Aurora, the law enforcement experts that testified this week, they said several times that they never spoke with Mr. Mound, but they never really gave a clear answer as to why. Why do you think that is?
Because they're not telling the truth. They never went out to go talk to him. And to say that, oh, he would have just gotten a lawyer so we didn't bother, are you kidding me? Everybody gets a lawyer if they're smart as far as that goes. But they've threatened other witnesses to come in and say whatever. Your question should be, what about all the people after the fact that helped? If, assuming the man was shot or was given clothes or they went to this apartment or somebody helped him escape to Indiana, what happened to all those people that were supposed to be charged? What about all the people in the text messages where I showed you blatantly they're talking about shooting people and shootings happened? Nobody's indicted. What about the guy that carjacked the Mercedes, Treyon Ingram? He's not charged with anything. He's picked up a subsequent murder since then. So you explain to me how that is. And then when they say in their closing statement, the gall of it all to say we can't arrest everybody, yet they're running 14 and 15 defendant RICO cases. I mean, just come on. It's they made up their mind. Juk wasn't going to get charged, maybe because he was going to get fancy lawyers that could see through all this BS. I don't know. They have all the texts.
Or maybe it's something darker.
And you came from where exactly? I'm sorry.
I'm from Atlanta. That's where our office is.
And then this was a Shelby County jury.
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Is there a reason why you didn't request a jury from out of town?
Because I think the case was so bad that Memphis juries and people that live here need to see what really happens. And so I don't need to play games and get somebody from out of town. The Memphis people need to see what happens in Memphis.
This right here is a sad day for multiple people. And it is a glorious day for multiple people. We have people from the CMG side. We have people from, Hernandez Govan's family. They are happy, But then the victim's family. We have people that are from young Dolph's side. His record label, Paper Route Empire, his child's mother, his kids, mother and father, everybody that love him is sad because to them today, they didn't get no justice for Dolph. And being that they was okay with letting him go, I know they gotta be thinking like, man, did we make a mistake when we allowed the state to say, hey, he can pay his bond and we can turn him loose? They gotta be wondering, because I remember when that first happened, I thought that Govan was gonna flip on all his, the people that were supplying him with the money to do stuff and all that. I thought he was gonna flip, and that's why they was okay with him being released. But no, I mean, I would have to believe or have to think in my mind that I know young Dolph family is probably thinking to themselves like, we shouldn't have did that, because one thing I come to understand about the judicial system, if you fighting a case and you free, it looks better to the jury than if you're fighting a case and you're locked up. Because when you locked up and you coming in there fighting the case, the jury is looking at you like, well, damn, they still got him locked up. The state must really believe he's guilty. But if you coming in fresh from the street, you know, ain't no guard surrounding you and unhandcuffing you and all that old type of stuff, I mean, you look different, you know, to them. And even though in the courtroom, they don't let the jury see them taking the handcuffs off you and stuff like that, but we'll be a fool to believe that the jury don't look at the news and know who locked up and who ain't locked up and stuff like that. So that right there probably played a big role in him being found not guilty. My personal perspective, I didn't believe that the defense did a good job, but I mean, obviously I must have been wrong, but I didn't believe that they did a good job. I was more leaning towards the prosecution. And the reason for it is because of the evidence. Here it is, you have this man right here connected to everything. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. Mound Quette was connected to everything, to all the participants in the murder of young Dolph. He was there. He was connected to Straight Drop. He was connected to Cornbread. And he was connected to Big Jook. And from my understanding, they proved those connections by text messages, phone calls, text messages before the murder, phone calls, text messages after the murder. You see? So in my mind, I'm like, okay then, all right, well, they showing that he's connected. But then not only that, they showing that he's connected by one of the persons who killed young Dolph. Listen, a person that sat there and shot this man to death is connecting this man to the murder. Now, I know the gangsters in the comments and stuff like that. I mean, I don't expect y'all to understand this type of stuff because y'all gangsters and y'all criminals. And, you know, I'm supposed to be up here saying, yeah, that's right, he beat the system and all that. But I'm not in that type of lifestyle. But once I used to be like y'all, and I would be saying, yeah, you know, turn them loose and stuff like that. You know, I would have been, you know, doing what y'all doing, but that's not my life no more. I'm a taxpaying citizen. I'm a civilian, right? And yeah, just from the evidence and from the connections, I'm like, man, this dude right here is finna go down. It didn't look good for him. And I'm shocked, just like millions. I'm talking about millions of people are probably shocked too, because I believe that the state put on a good case. Not only that though, y'all, not just the text messages and stuff like that, but the gun. His co-defendant said that Govan, Mound Quette, gave him a gun. He gave a gun to Cornbread, right? And with that right there, I mean, like, if that ain't conspiracy, I don't know what else is. To give somebody a gun to go kill somebody, I thought that was conspiracy, right? Even though he used that gun to go shoot at Paper Route Wu, and he didn't use that gun to go shoot at Dolph, but still, with him being connected to Straight Drop, and telling them, hey, look, man, y'all gonna get paid for killing young Dolph, and introducing them to Jook. Yeah, here go the big man right here. Not only that, though, they was gonna pay him after the killing of young Dolph. Had they got all their money like that, according to what they've been saying, he was gonna get broken off. Hey, here, we're gonna give you 10,000. We're going to give you 10,000 here. Anytime y'all kill somebody, I'm going to get the money and y'all break me off. Or Big Jook going to give y'all the money and y'all break me off. That ain't conspiracy. I mean, according to the law books, I thought that was conspiracy. Especially to have somebody murdered and that person end up getting murdered. And that's not conspiracy. Look, let me tell y'all something. This between us, right? The hood educated residents and the guests since y'all here. Look, if I ever decide to get back in them streets and start gang banging and drug dealing and doing everything that harms, I'm moving to Memphis. Yeah, I'm going back to the crib. That's where I was born at. I'm going back to Memphis. And with stuff like this happening, I can understand why I'm talking about the crime rate, the murder rate is so high down there in Memphis. Y'all turning murderers loose down there. And this is no disrespect to the hood educated residents in Memphis. I'm talking about y'all criminal judicial system. I'm talking about y'all bad police work. I'm talking about y'all prosecutors and judges. Like, man, they letting killers loose. Man, if I decide to get back into that lifestyle, man, I'm going back to Memphis. I got a better chance of beating the case in Memphis than anywhere else in the United States possible. And you wouldn't think that, being that when you look at the first 48 and Memphis be on there, all them boys down there telling the truth and nothing but the truth. You like, yeah, man, Memphis don't play. Shit, where's Mason at? Where Detective Mason? You know, I mean, she probably would have did a better investigation than whoever investigated Dolph murder. Where's she at? We need her back. Because ain't no way, y'all. I mean, like, you know, after, you know, everything is over with and stuff like that, you know, we can point the finger and we can blame people and stuff like that. But in this situation right here, it is this young Dolph we talking about, y'all. And the cold-blooded part about the whole thing is this right here. We have two major record labels down there in Memphis going toe-to-toe, body for body. And now it appears that CMG, they done got away with it again. Every time one of them was arrested for shooting young Dolph, guess what happened? Guess what happened? The boys got set free. They turned them loose. Every time when he got shot in California, CMG, I'm talking about, listen, they locked this man up and everything. What happened to him? Got out. Black youngster, him and his boys. The shooting down there in Carolina or Charlotte. What happened? They got locked up and then what happened? Turned them loose. And now they killed them. And Govan get turned loose too? Come on, man. Come on. Man, look. This right here, I'm talking about, man, like, and I understand, you know, like I said before, the gangsters, I know y'all like, nah, hood, you know what I'm saying, you know, man, you know, but brother, I'm not with that lifestyle no more. I mean, if that's your cup of tea and that's how you living, okay, that's how you living, but man, look, man, if somebody killed your family member and stuff like that, man, if you ain't gonna go slide for them and all that, you will be wanting justice too. Y'all got to start looking at it like that, man. And Dolph, then I'm talking about, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I'm shook. I'm shook. So you mean to tell me that they ain't proved conspiracy? That's the thing I just can't understand. How y'all ain't, that's easy to prove. And I believe that they proved it, especially when they put Cornelius' girlfriend on the stand. Why hood educated? Why the girlfriend? Let me explain to y'all. Because the girlfriend connected Cornbread or Cornelius Smith to Govan. She connected them. She said she seen Orange Mound Quette and her boyfriend Cornbread meet up at the store, and Orange Mound Quette gave him his phone. The same phone that he left in the murder vehicle. He went in there and grabbed the phone for the man and brought it to him. Why would he do that if he wasn't connected? Why would she get up there and lie about something like that? She ain't being convicted of nothing. She ain't indicted for murder or nothing like that. Why would she get on the stand and lie about something like that? That woman got up there and told the truth. I believe Cornbread told the truth. Regardless of he a snitch and he got something to gain and all that old type of stuff. But when you look at the whole play, he was trying to stay down. Until they kept playing on him, and playing on him. Then he said, man, you know what? I'm finna tell, man. Because y'all remember what he said. He said when he went to go meet Govan, when he seen him, what happened after that? The next day, the U.S. Marshals was kicking his door down. Listen. Govan, I'm talking about, I reported this a long time ago. Govan been an informant. Yes. Orange Mound Quette was a federal informant, getting people locked up for murders, getting people locked up for drugs and all type of stuff. But somehow he stayed connected to the streets. And now he's being released on one of the largest cases in Memphis. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, look, this got me, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. I can't even. And I know it got a lot of y'all too. I'm talking about, cause man, like how he beat it. How? I mean, the fact that before the murder, you know, they was exchanging phone calls and text messages and stuff like that. After the murder, they exchanging phone calls and text messages and stuff like that. These are the connections, right? I mean, at least in my eyes, I mean, these are the connections. I mean, the murder vehicle parked right next to Orange Mound Quette's house. Why did they bring it there? I'm going to tell you why they brought it there. Because they felt comfortable. Like, we can bring it over here. We know this area. Why? Because we come over here. We frequent this area to come and meet with Quette. So, yeah, they took it over there. And Quette telling them to clean the car off and giving that man money to go buy stuff to cover the car up and everything and all that. Allow me to say this before I depart. Because a lot of young brothers, a lot of gangsters, people that still live in that lifestyle, could look at this case and look at him beating his murder and believe to themselves that they got a shot at it. That it is a possibility that they can continue to live that lifestyle. And if they get a nice enough lawyer, that they could end up beating murders. Let me tell y'all something. The mass majority of you gangsters that probably pay attention to this channel, y'all probably ain't got the money that Govan had behind him. That lawyer that he had, Manny, has got multiple rappers off cases and multiple drug dealers and murders and stuff like that. He's a high-priced lawyer. He's not no chump change lawyer. So 9 times out of 10, you probably ain't gonna be able to afford that type of lawyer. But not only that, I don't want people to get it misconstrued and believe that it's that easy to beat murders. It's not that easy. It's not. And usually, when they charge you with murder and stuff like that, they have the type of evidence to prove that you did the murder, or they had the type of evidence to prove your conspiracy to the murder. So don't get it twisted and be thinking that, you know, that you Hernandez Govan and that you possibly can beat murders and all that type of stuff when you got your co-defendant testifying, because usually it don't go that way. So let's clear that up. What happened with Orange Mound Quette? seldomly happens. Usually when people go to trial for them murders, they get banked. They get life in the penitentiary. We see it all the time. Stuff like this, you gangsters, y'all can rejoice in, but you gotta understand one thing. This don't happen all the time. There's more men locked up for murderers and crimes and drug dealing and everything that harms than there are people that beat these type of cases. Come on, let's just keep it real. Y'all be honest with yourselves. Y'all got more homies that are locked up for murders, for committing crimes, than y'all got homies that done went to trial and got turned loose. So that should tell y'all that this thing right here is abnormal. Don't entertain in your mind and think that, oh, this is normal practice, man. I go to trial, I probably can beat it. I put 12 people on the jury, I probably can beat it. This is abnormal. But you can play with your life if you want to. You can take a chance if you want to. You can continue doing what you're doing if you want to. And I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work out like this. Period. It's not going to work out like this. And you have the evidence to prove it because it's all around you. All you got to do is just look at your homeboys that's locked up in a state or a federal penitentiary right now today. This is Hood Educated, not Lame Related. Peace and love, and y'all take care of yourself out there. If I said anything that caused you to think, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And if you're feeling generous, please make a small donation to the channel. Now, before I depart, allow me to give a shout out to some of the blessings that I received this week. Allow me to give a shout out to Cynthia Johnson for the $10 super thanks. Thank you. Ray Carl Brown for the $2 super thanks. Thank you. Miss Shouty Terry for the $5 super thanks. Thank you. Cortez Darple for the $20 Venmo. Thank you. Jerry Jones for the $2 Cash App. Thank you. Bernice Rose for the $5 Cash App. Thank you. Rodney Pearson for the $5 Cash App. Thank you. Betty Lewis for the $45 Cash App. Thank you. DJ Martin for the $2 Cash App. Thank you. 700 Ways for the $5 Cash App. Thank you. Christopher Morin for the $5 Cash App. Thank you. George Stewart for the $10 Cash App. Thank you. Roy Young for the $5 Cash App. Thank you. Jeffrey Blunt for the $20 Cash App. Thank you. Myron Troy for the $10 Cash App. Thank you. OG Chi-Town Sweetie for the $20 Cash App. Thank you. Popa Crowder for the $15 Cash App. Thank you. And last but not least, Michael for the $25 Cash App. This is Hood Educated, not Lame Related. Peace and love. And y'all take care of yourself out there.